Yay! Oh my god, I'm so excited. This is the best day ever.
Wait, did we start?
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
And we have so many questions. You guys went with a fat stack. Oh, what does ratio mean? Why do you think that is? And like, have labs always been part of it and we just weren't in the know?
Yeah.
Okay, we have some more like Diamond 101 questions. Now we're gonna get into pricing. Ooh, I love this. East-West rings. Trends are here to stay.
Okay.
I'm so excited. We're here at Howard Engle, deep in the Diamond District with Natalie Dorfman at Howard Engle. She's, what do we even call you?
Jeweler? Wholesaler. Technically we're wholesalers,
yes.
But yes, jeweler.
Yes, but Howard Engle is where I came to shop for my engagement ring. This was like my 6th or 7th stop. I had, it's literally like PTSD with like the venues all over again because it's really hard to find someone like normal and young to talk to you about rings, where it's like, if you're, no shade to like the 50-year-old women who've been doing this for years, but like I didn't really feel seen.
Yeah,
in speaking with someone who just like, it didn't feel like talking to a friend.
Yeah. And
like, obviously I know you, but it was very comfortable.
Yeah, and that's a huge part of the reason that kind of drove me to get in this business. Like, obviously I was drawn to the diamonds, but I really liked the aspect of being a woman in the industry and being able to sit with you and connect with you and have you trust me and know that I know what you're looking for and like I know what you're talking about. A lot of times you can go to people that really are just trying to make the sale and like,
and you can smell it too.
Yeah,
I've even felt that with wedding venues where I'm like, you don't care.
No.
Like,
no, they just want to make the sale and move on to the next person. Like, I genuinely feel like I know what you're looking for. I understand every time someone comes in wanting the minorest detail and they're like, oh, it's kind of hard to explain. Like, I already know what you're gonna say and I can articulate that towards the jeweler and your ring comes out perfect.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of like what a lot of the questions are about here, where it's like, how do I describe, how do I find the language to get what I want? But what you taught me is like, it's really not on me. It's on your jeweler to have the language and kind of pull it out of you, where of course like you should have a few guiding questions in your back pocket, but it's not on you.
Yeah,
like,
no, not at all. And that's a huge part of my job, is to get it out of you, because no one really knows anything about diamonds until you know things about diamonds. If you have the right jeweler and sit with the right person that understands what you're looking for, it should be a really fun process.
Okay, and we have so many questions. You guys went with a fat stack, so let's dive.
Yeah.
We had a few requests to see a few specific shapes on a finger. This is like candy. Like, this is so fun. So Natalie, want to just like put one on one by one and we can kind of explain the carat and the shape.
So this is a 3.96 carat center emerald cut.
Oh my god.
With trapezoid side stones.
Wow. And are these all natural today?
Yes.
Okay.
Here we have a 3.42 carat emerald cut center stone with tapered baguettes. Here we have a 5 carat emerald, just a solitaire setting, so plain on its own.
That's so beautiful.
And this is set in rose gold, so the band is rose gold.
What did I call this, the DJ?
So here is the 2-stone ring. A lot of people like this combination of the pear shape and the emerald. Each are 2 carats. And then this is just like a solitaire plain mounting.
I think those sizes look really nice together.
Yeah, they're stunning.
Because sometimes with the, I can't say it, the Toy Moi rings, depending on sizing, it can look like a little intense.
Yeah, it could look a little much just because there's a lot going on. You're looking at different cuts, different facets, all of that. But this is a very, very nice size.
Wow, easy. We just switched the phone because my camera died, but.
All right, we have a 2 carat radiant, and this is set on a pave band. So it has the small micro diamonds on the side. Okay, so here we have a 4.33 carat antique cushion set with tapered baguettes.
The bezel.
So here is a 2.65 carat antique cushion with a yellow gold bezel around it. So you have the thin metal surrounding the diamond.
So pretty.
Yeah, definitely that antique look.
The feminine urge to like do like the little hand wiggle to make it sparkle, but I do the same thing.
You got it. It's very hard to,
it's hard to like
photograph diamonds, the sparkle. It's just not the same as it is in person.
Ooh, what is that one?
All right, here we got a 4.23 carat elongated cushion. This has more of the brilliant cut, so more of that like quote crushed ice look. And this is set in a north, south, east, west.
Oh,
setting.
The prongs.
Yes, the prongs are north, south, east, west. People like to do that with cushions because it really allows you to see the roundness of the sides.
Is it a concern though for the safety of the diamond, of it like getting hit on the side though?
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, totally fine. Here is a 2.5 carat oval set in a yellow gold setting, solitaire. So just plain on its own.
When I think of someone getting engaged in 2024, this is the ring I think of.
Yeah.
It was the vibe at the time.
This is definitely 2024 vibes.
100%.
It's gorgeous.
What did you say the carat was?
This is 2.5.
Okay, beautiful.
This is a 3 carat oval with a little bit of a thicker band.
I like that look.
Okay, I tried to group these questions together, like just for flow, but the first flow is like diamonds for dummies. If you're like me and you have no knowledge of diamonds, like I just think things are sparkly and pretty, like what are some things to go into an appointment being like, these are the things that I can provide my jeweler with to kind of guide them in the right direction?
Yeah, I would definitely say something to focus on is the 4 C's, right? So you have your carat, which is the weight of diamond. You have your cut, which is the way weight's distributed. So let's say you're 100 pounds, I'm 100 pounds, but we look totally different.
Skinny edge.
The same with diamonds. Diamonds look completely different. And then you have your color, which is essentially the way light reflects in a diamond. It's really just a measure of like how yellowish a diamond looks. It's the alphabet starting with D, going through Z, etc. And then you have your clarity, which is really just the presence of imperfections, inclusions in a diamond. It's how many there are, what they look like, where they're located in the diamond, and then it gets a clarity grade. So those are your 4 C's. Those are things you're gonna wanna focus on when looking at a diamond. But my biggest advice for sitting in an appointment is figuring out what your priorities are, right? So there's a lot of aspects that go into a diamond. So what's most important to you and what do you want out of your stone, right? Everyone wants something different. So maybe carat size is important to you.
Yeah.
No problem. We'll figure out the right carat size to be at the price point you want to be at. Let's say color is the most important to you. You're okay coming down a little bit in size or clarity to have a better color. No problem. We kind of back ourselves into it to figure out exactly where you want to be and what's most important to you and your stone.
This is such a hot question and something that I personally struggled with, but how to go about like ring shopping with your partner. Do you more often see couples come in together? Do you more often see like girls come in like with champagne alone? I want to know what's most popular and also like say like how do you even start that conversation? Like we know we're getting engaged.
Yes.
What the fuck now?
Yeah. I would say it's very dependent on what you want out of the experience, right? Everyone wants something different. We see it all. We see, you know, a mom, a sister, a friend. We see the woman come in alone or with a mom, a sister, a friend. Or we see them come in as a couple most of the time. From there, you really get a range. So the woman could be a part of the process all the way until picking out the exact stone that she wants. She could maybe narrow it down to like her 3 favorites. And her partner selects the final one. Or maybe she just comes in and figures out the shape she wants. And then the partner and I work together and we figure out exactly what the right stone is. I would just suggest jumping into like a fun retail store where like you'll get a cool experience like a Tiffany or a Harry Winston. Jump in with a friend or so and just get shapes on your hand. Just get every shape on your hand because you truly don't know what you're going to like. You might have grown up looking at your mom or your aunt or your grandma's ring and thought like, oh, that's beautiful, I'll love that, I'll be fine with that. But you don't know what the other shapes are like. Maybe another shape is what actually feels more you, but you've never known. And then communicate that to your partner or have the friend communicate it to a partner or whatever. And then that way he kind of knows what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah, I feel like it's so funny. Having a friend communicate it to your partner like literally feels like having like your friend tell a boy that like you liked them at camp. Like it feels like so like juvenile. Like it feels like it's kind of funny to me.
I know, a lot of the process could feel cheesy at times.
Yeah, and I mean, getting married is inherently chuggy and you have to let go. Like you have to lean. It's so chuggy.
Every single step, there's gonna be chuggy parts, there's gonna be cringy parts.
Yeah.
But I think you really just have to try to like remove yourself from that feeling.
Embrace.
And like, because at the end of the day, this is your engagement ring. Like it's something that you're gonna wear for the rest of your life. So if you have to struggle and be chuggy for like a 30-second conversation to get your dream ring for the rest of your life, like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. A question we got is how can I get something that I like and still have it be a surprise? This was my biggest concern going into like ring shopping with Jack is like, oh, like I'm not gonna feel like that like butterfly surprise the way I want to hear your thoughts too. But the way that we ended up doing it is we shopped, we kind of like talked through with Natalie the shape and everything that we wanted, and every ring is custom. Like you're never gonna see it all put together. So I had an idea of what it would look like, but I still had that like, oh my fucking God, like feeling, seeing it in the ring box for the first time. Like also being engaged is a surprise. Like you're gonna be so gooped and gagged, hopefully, that like you don't know that it's coming. That like
totally.
I was really nervous about that, but it was like I was so surprised.
Yeah, I think when it comes to surprises, a lot of people feel like if they are a part of the process at all, whether like from the beginning to the end,
It like ruins it.
They feel like it's ruined or they feel like they're not surprised. I completely disagree with that. I feel like you could be a part of the process all the way until the end, right? You could select the actual diamond that you are going to be wearing, but between the time difference of you being in this office versus getting engaged, between the actual building of the ring, right? So seeing it done in the setting that you want, your dream setting, a finished ring, but most importantly, seeing your partner get down on one knee
So
in
special.
what I imagine like the most beautiful place, expressing his love for you and asking you to marry him, like that type of connection that he's gonna give you that I can't give you.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of connection and that element of surprise will mean the most to you. Like that will mean everything to you. You will not regret for a single second being a part of this process. That moment, your actual proposal will be a surprise no matter what. Like you will be blown away and so emotional about it that it won't matter. It won't matter.
Now we're gonna get into pricing.
Okay.
I know you're gonna say that it ranges, but like, please try to give us something to hold on to with the average that someone spends on a ring, and don't say 3 months salary. Like, we want to know.
So I know it's so cheesy to say that.
So much range.
It's so cheesy to say that. So like it really is kind of like, if you do the math, like at first I thought like, okay, no way, but when you do the math, like it really is kind of a 2 to 3 month salary. Just
for who though? Like for like financier or
no,
for like
so
the PR girl?
It's dependent. It's for each guy. Like each person it's whatever they're comfortable spending, right? So if they're comfortable spending X amount, it probably has some sort of relation to their finances and their salary and what they're bringing in. So it's really what they're comfortable with. You know, of course we see a range. There's no right or wrong.
Okay,
like,
what is, just to give us something, what is the lowest amount you've seen someone spend on a ring, and what is the highest amount? And we have to factor in lab and natural diamonds.
Okay, well, if we're factoring in both, then
huge range.
Yeah, if you're factoring in both, you can get a lab-grown engagement ring for as low, I mean, it depends the size. You can get it as low as $1,000.
Wow.
Well, a setting is typically at least around $1,000. So you can get it for maybe $1,500 if you're getting like a much smaller lab-grown ring.
Right.
So really it's whatever you want. And of course, with a natural, you could spend as much as you want. You could spend $500,000, you can spend $1 million. Like it's really what you make of it, which is why we encourage people to kind of figure out their budget and where they want to be.
Yeah,
you know,
ahead of time.
Yeah, because I always feel bad when people come in and I show things that are maybe out of budget and they realize, oh, I actually want to spend less, and now I just made you kind of fall in love with something.
Yeah, that was, sorry to interject, but that was something that I didn't even tell Jack to do this, but he came into all the appointments, let all the jewelers know in advance. I didn't have to be there. I didn't have to know the number, which I think I would have felt guilty no matter what that was, just because like, it's probably the most money anyone's ever spent
100%
in their career.
Unless you own a home, this is the most money
the biggest
you'll
expense
spend in a setting. So I definitely recommend kind of figuring that out beforehand. And then, of course, letting me know if it's not something we're going to talk about in front of their partner.
Yes.
So that I know. But most importantly for me, I just try to not show things that are over budget, because I don't want you to fall in love with something and then I have to be like, oh wait, you can't handle that. So figuring that out first so that we can kind of navigate the appointment realistically.
Do you feel like, as a jeweler, like when you see friends get engaged, like you like look at the ring, like I couldn't help myself, like I would start doing math.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's,
because you know too much.
Like I don't immediately think like, okay, this costs that, this costs that. But if, you know, you sat there at lunch and said to me like, okay, what do you think this costs? Like I could probably give like a rough range, but it so depends. You could have 2 items that look identical to you, right? The naked eye, someone that's not a professional in the industry, and you might think those are the exact same, but one is $20,000 and one is $150,000. Like,
especially with what you taught me about like the weight of a carat in each stone, sorry I'm burping, like looks completely different, which is why like, correct me if I'm wrong, we're seeing a lot of people gravitate more towards like ovals and pairs because they carry carats and like their weight different, where like you might get a smaller carat in a pair, but because of the shape, it just like looks so much bigger.
Yeah, totally. I think that plays a huge factor nowadays. Not everyone, but a lot of people really want a big carat size just because it's substantial. You're spending a lot of money and you want to see what you're paying for. There's nothing wrong with that. And so people really want to maximize what they can get. And I will say there are definitely certain shapes that are better for its appearance than others, right? If you lined up every single shape the same exact carat size, the ovals, the Marquis, really different. The pear shapes are going to look the biggest, and I would say maybe like cushions are going to look on the smaller side because they're a little bit more bottom heavy, whereas opposed to an oval, it's a little bit more spready up top.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to ask, because I know like lab versus natural is such a hot topic. I feel like in the past few years, and you guys agree, they've exploded. Like it's become so popular.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? And like, have labs always been part of it and we just weren't in the know?
Yeah, I would definitely say lab-grown diamonds have become popular in the last handful of years. To talk about the difference really quickly, a natural diamond is a diamond that's made beneath the earth and they're billions of years old, whereas a lab-grown diamond is made in a machine. It takes about 1 to 2 weeks to make.
Wow.
So there's infinite amounts. You can turn them so much, there's so many, you can constantly make them, whereas a natural diamond, there's only a finite amount. There's only so many that are made and there's no one in the same. They all look different. You know, that of course drives the value of a natural diamond.
So rare.
Yeah, and it also, that gives more of like the investment aspect and it gives more of that like family heirloom aspect, whereas opposed to like a lab-grown diamond, because there are so many of them, it really helps bring the price down. So people have been very attracted to lab-grown because the price is just a lot less, and that's just because they're a lot more attainable.
Okay, we have some more like Diamond 101 questions. Again, like you don't need to memorize this, like your jeweler will know this stuff, but I think like going into an appointment, especially say if like you're sending your partner out into the wild, you might want to equip them with this information so they know a little bit what they're doing. But can you talk to me through the color scale? And also it's so funny, I used to, knowing that the color scale, yellow I'd say would be like the lowest, or it's like on one end. I was always taught like, oh no, like you don't want a yellow diamond. You want like it to be more like clear and blue. But I'm actually seeing yellow diamonds become very trendy.
Yeah, I think it's with color. So basically the color is graded the alphabet starting with D, going through Z. Once you get past Z, you're in fancy yellows and stuff. So that's a different category. D through F is considered colorless. So it's very, very white. You're gonna see no color. G through J is gonna be near colorless, and that you might see a hint of color here and there, but you're really not gonna see any color. It will be very white and a little bit better value. And then you'll start to see color around maybe the JK color range, but really it's very eye dependent.
Yeah.
Like some eyes can tolerate more than others. I might have one person come in and see an H color and be like, nope, I see warmth, like I don't want that, no problem. And then I have some people who come in, they see a K and they're like, I love that, like that's perfect.
Yeah.
It's up to you. People tend to read articles online, and there are articles that will be like, you have to be in the DEF range, or you have to have a flawless diamond, or you have to have this carat weight. There are no rules. It is really just like what you like. Like no one else is wearing the ring besides you. So, and at the end of the day, you're not wearing the color. Your ring doesn't have a letter on it showing what color it is.
Exactly.
Like, no one will know.
Oh, what does ratio mean?
So ratio it's essentially just the length divided by the width. So it's like how long and narrow a stone is versus a little bit more short and square. So 1.0 is a perfect square. So any bigger the number gets, the more longer and narrower it is.
Do we have any squares here? Oh, we do have a square here.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say this is like a square per se, but yes, it's a little bit more short as opposed to if you want to compare it to like this. This is a little bit more
I'm gonna
long.
hold these.
So the elongated cushion, the more elongated the shape is, the higher the ratio is going to be.
Oh, okay. I want to talk about hidden halos and what they do for sparkle.
Okay.
I remember in our appointment, it was kind of, we were back and forth about hidden halo. I had seen, and just if you don't know what hidden halo is, I'll defer to Natalie.
Yeah, okay, so a hidden halo is just essentially like micro pave small diamonds that run around the bar of the box that's holding the stone. For sparkle, it really doesn't do anything for sparkle in terms of the center stone and like the overall look of the ring. No one can really see it besides you. So I would say if you really, really want it, it's gonna be something that you see for yourself in certain angles that you move your hand. But it's not gonna do anything for the overall look of the ring because it's like underneath the diamond.
I thought it would do a lot more for my sparkle factor, and it like didn't. And honestly, of all the things, I love my ring, I'm obsessed with her. Of all the decisions we made, I think that's the one choice, and you warned me of this. Like I think that's the one choice that if we were to cut a cost, we probably could have gone without.
Listen, it's a beautiful touch of sparkle, but it doesn't really do anything for the ring. It's more for you. If you want to look at it in certain angles and see that sparkle, like that's great, but it's not going to add much.
And they often fall out, the little diamonds.
So I will say with hidden halos, because the diamonds are so small and the angle that they're at on the ring, when you bang around your hands, they tend to crack and fall out. And if that happens, it's no problem. Like we fix that and we replace it.
And likely your ring is insured. I hope.
Right. And
tell them to do that.
Yeah, for sure. But that is no problem. Like we can fix that. It's more of just like a headache for you.
I had a question about band size and not density, but like strength.
Yeah.
I remember, you had a whisper thin band.
Yeah, so mine's not considered whisper thin, but it's on the thinner side.
I remember seeing that and I was like, oh, I love that. Are bands that are thicker more, what is the word?
Like stronger?
Stronger, I think people think that.
Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? Like, I wouldn't recommend going super, super thin. The thinner the metal you go, the more likely it is going to bend. Not in like a day-to-day setting, but like if you're holding weights, which I don't recommend you work out in your ring, if you do like things like that, or like you're holding something heavy, or you hit something the wrong way, listen, things happen.
Yeah.
The thinner the band is, it's possible that the metal could bend. Again, very easily fixable, just something to know, more of like a headache for you. So the thicker you go, the actual metal is the same type of metal.
Yeah, so it's
strong.
Yeah.
It's strong, it's just the thinner you go, the more likely it'll bend if you hit it the wrong way or something.
Okay, let's see. I think it was everything for Diamond Basics. A lot of folks are getting 3-stone engagement rings now, and it's kind of like, the trends kind of vary about how high your ring is set. So to explain, like, can we walk through, if someone's like, what do you mean where the ring is set? Like, about like the height.
Yeah, so an engagement ring, there's aspects to it, right? So you have your shank, which is the band that goes around your finger, and then you have a box, which is what the diamond sits in. And then from there, you can have different design details. So you can have a solitaire ring where it's just the box sitting on top of the ring. You could have a 3-stone ring. You could have a cathedral setting where the metal kind of like dips up on the sides, which is a little bit more of a traditional look. There's all different types of settings.
It's kind of a trend right now to have a low set engagement ring. So say, I'm just gonna show my ring. My ring is set pretty high, where my finger is here and the ring is like pretty high up, like in the air, because of how we set it.
Yeah.
So say if someone wants to set their engagement ring on the lower side, what would be your recommendations for wedding bands? Can you flush it? And flush it means they're touching.
Yeah. So with the diamond, you can only set a diamond. So a diamond, the bottom point of the diamond called the culet, you can only set a diamond as low as that point being just over your finger, right? You don't want the diamond digging into your finger.
Yeah.
So you can only set it as low as the depth of the diamond. So sometimes when you see people with higher set stones, they might have asked for that, but also it might just be because of the depth of the diamond.
For me, it's the depth.
Yeah, like you have a bigger diamond, so it's, gonna sit up a little bit higher just because there's more weight in terms of that. So it can only be set as low as that, but then of course you can do it however you want. Some people like that higher look. It gives it more of like that floating effect, or some people like it a little bit lower set. I will say higher set, sometimes it could snag on clothing and stuff and be like a little bit annoying, but that's just like if that's worth it for you. But I will say with the lower set, it does get trickier to sit flush with a wedding band. There are ways to go about it. I mean, you can build your wedding band to work around that. Like if you want to keep your box of the ring lower, you can kind of build a wedding band where maybe it curves around it, or something like that, so that it sits flush. Or I would just advise raising the box a little bit higher so that it can sit flush. But my advice, honestly, because I know a lot of people think like, do I have to think about my wedding band while I'm looking for an engagement ring, that kind of thing. People ask that all the time. I would definitely say no, just focus on designing the engagement ring exactly how you want it, because you're likely going to wear that engagement ring alone for plus minus a year.
Yeah.
So, design it exactly how you want it. And then once you figure out when it's time to do wedding bands, maybe a year later or so, and we figure out exactly what wedding band you want, then we can always adjust the engagement ring. We can always either fix the setting to make it sit flush, or figure out the right band if you still love the way the engagement ring is. But you really don't know what type of wedding band you're gonna want until then. That's why I say not to really like design your engagement ring based on it.
Also because like trends, you also don't want to shop for a wedding dress too early, where like things might evolve.
Yeah, and especially with wedding bands, like you might get engaged, and then like 3 months later your best friend gets married and you see her wedding band, or you see someone on the street's wedding band and you're like, oh, I love that, I've never seen that before, and now you want that, but you had designed your engagement ring for something else. So that's why I always say like just design the engagement ring how you want it, and then once you figure out the type of wedding band you'll want, then we can always adjust the setting.
Is it at all possible to flush a band with 3 stones? It's okay if it's not. Like, you can tell people the hard thing.
Well, you can. It's just your wedding band might look a little bit different. It depends. If you're very stern on the type of wedding band you want, it might be a little bit trickier to do your 3-stone bands.
For a 3-stone, like I'm picturing like 3
yeah,
you can do like
so
that.
There's right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
We've had people build wedding bands where it just like rounds out, and if you're always planning to wear those rings together, then it looks perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe it would look a little bit funkier if you were wearing that now on its own.
Yeah.
But there are ways to do it.
Okay, cool. Is there any like rules of thumb for keeping diamonds safe? Say you get that diamond wedding band flushed against your engagement ring and they're like hitting all the time because only diamonds can cut diamonds.
Yes.
What's like, do you have any tips for keeping them safe?
I would just say as long as your setting is done properly and safe, then you should be fine. If the metal is thick enough around the box and your rings that it really should not be a problem, I will say always just take a look at your rings every now and then. Just look at them. Maybe bring them up to your
wellness check.
Yeah, like bring them up to your ear, tap them just to make sure the diamonds aren't loose because things happen.
Is there a sound that you hear? When
Yeah, you'll hear. So if you bring it up to your ear and you just tap it, you'll hear like a rattling sound. That means the diamond is loose. Usually it's just because it's an accident, right? Like you're wearing a heavy sweater and it pulls the prong by accident.
Yeah.
Like any little movement, if you accidentally hit the desk too hard and the prong gets like a little bit shifted, it could get loose. So always just every now and then check on your jewelry, look at it, take a look, see if the metal is getting affected by your eternity band because it's not possible.
Yeah.
Like it is possible for them to rub up against each other. So just take a look and service your jewelry, right? Like you service your car, you should service your jewelry.
Ooh.
Always service your jewelry, take a look at it, call me, bring it in at least, I should see you at least once a year just to make sure everything's tight, everything's polished, cleaned up. Take care of it because it's, it's important. Just like your car, for example, you're servicing that, so you should service your jewelry.
That's such a great analogy. I would never even think to do that. How do you clean your ring?
Honestly, I would just say Dawn dish soap, warm water, and like a soft toothbrush is perfectly fine.
Because there's so many, like, I feel like so many products have come out, like, there's like you drop it in the pot, or there's like the ring, like the stick.
That stuff is totally fine. It's completely safe for the diamond and the metal. Like that is fine. But if you are overwhelmed by all the different options and not sure what to get,
you don't need it.
You don't need it. Like I would just say Dawn dish soap, which is like the best for fighting grease and oils, which is like what's on your ring. Like a little bit of soap, warm water, and a soft toothbrush, like that will 100% get the trick.
Rapid fire.
Yeah.
This is not like just your pure opinion.
Okay.
As Natalie.
Okay.
Trends are here to stay.
Okay.
Toro y Moi. Did I say that? That's Toro y Moi is a band. That's a DJ. What is it? Toro y Moi.
So it's toi and moi, it's French, it means you and me.
Oh, but
yeah.
It's the two stones. You know who made that so popular is do you know Indie Blue, that influencer?
Yes.
I remember she like broke the fucking internet because she had the blue pair.
Yes.
It's like a whole moment.
Yeah, it's definitely a moment. I would say in terms of classic or trend, I don't want to use the word trend. I would just more so say a toi moi ring, it's beautiful. I wouldn't necessarily call it like bridal. I wouldn't say it's a classic
definitely
bridal. I would say it's a little bit more fashion. So you get engaged and then let's say maybe you're, a few years down the line and you're over having like that bridal look and you're ready to move more into like a different fashion-y look, then that's like a nice way to incorporate it. You can add another diamond, you can do a diamond with a colored stone. So there are so many different ways you can do it, which I love the sentiment of it. But yeah, so I wouldn't say it's a trend. I wouldn't call it trendy. I would just say it's probably not as bridal as other settings.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it's funny, some things just like shout bridal to me. I remember seeing your ring and how it was platinum. Like to me, platinum gives so bridal, and I was really drawn to it for that reason. And then I like took a step back and thought about, I say as I'm like in silver earrings, but thought about like what I wore the most on a day-to-day. And it's okay if your taste isn't like typical bridal. Oh, I love this. East-west rings.
Yes.
Trend are here to stay.
Same exact thing I would say about toi et moi. I think it's beautiful. It's definitely a little bit more unique. Again, I wouldn't say trend. I just wouldn't say it's like the most classic bridal. It leans a little bit more unique. And if you're looking for something like that, I think it's a great way to make something look unique without trying like too hard.
Yeah, that's true. I think sometimes it kind of reminds me of wedding dress shopping. I saw a TikTok that like really altered my brain, where a girl was like really struggling to find a wedding dress. She tried on so many, she was feeling so defeated, and a designer was like, can I be so honest with you, like you are focusing so much on uniqueness rather than a style that brings out your natural beauty.
Yeah, and I see that all the time because a lot of people want to feel like they are, changing everything. They want to make it seem like they are like paving the way for a new trend or a new look. And really it gets to a point where it's like, this should really just be more of like what feels like you and what you feel best in. And like for me, like I just want you to wake up every morning, look at your hand and be like, this is my dream ring. This feels like me. With jewelry, the beauty of jewelry, especially with rings, because you have 10 fingers and you can wear as many rings as you want on each finger. It's endless. Like the possibilities are endless. You can do whatever you want. If you see cool ideas, you write them down, you screenshot, you save them for the future, and for a birthday present, an anniversary present, etc., you can always like add.
Yeah. Last two about trends are here to stay. Bezels. I feel like as I was starting to shop for rings, bezels were really exploding.
Yeah, bezels have been very popular. I would say bezels definitely give more of that like antique feel, right? So it's a little bit more of that antique style, which I wouldn't necessarily say that's like a trend. Some people could see that as classic. Like antique style is classic, and some people might disagree with that. It totally depends. But I would say they've definitely been very popular. We have one right here, set with an antique cushion, because people usually when you want an antique cushion, you like that antique look. So we do a bezel.
And then last one for trend are here to stay, extra wide bands.
Also, I would say that definitely leans a little bit more of that antique look. Yeah. So they definitely are here. I would probably say they lean a little bit more trendy. They have their waves. Like I know my mom had one of those when she first got married. Like it really is just like depends on what you like. At the end of the day, very easy fix. You can get a very wide, you can get a very wide band, and then let's say you decide you want it thinner, I can always shave it down. You don't even have to get a new band. I could just shave it, or you get another one. Like it's not as deep as like you might make it out to be.
Well, I actually got a few questions about getting rings reset. Like say in an alternate universe, you and I made a custom ring together. And I don't like it. Where do we go from there?
So easy. So here we personalize everything. Everything is very customized. So we can sit together. Let's say we sit together and you want to reset your ring, and we design a whole new piece and we make it, and you don't really like it. We fix it.
What about the diamond though? Like, has that ever happened? Or like, say we land on an elongated cushion, it's on my finger, and I'm like, I'm having I'm so upset. I should have done pear. Like, Natalie, is there anything we can do?
Yeah, easy. So diamonds, because of the way the market is, we can buy them back from you. So for a natural diamond, we can take it at market value and you can get something new. So if you come in with a diamond, whether you bought it a week ago or whether it's 100 years old, you can come in, we will value, whatever the value is in the market of that stone now, we will offer that to you, and you can put it towards something else, or whatever you want. If in the case that you get engaged and you come in a couple weeks, a month later, and you're like, you know what, this actually isn't really what I was hoping for, or maybe your partner picked something out that like wasn't.
He went rogue.
Yeah, he went rogue, and maybe it wasn't something you had your eye on. That's no problem. Like, but we will make it work so that you are happy.
So if that seems like a very clear-cut next step for a natural diamond. The downside of my sweet baby lab here, and I love her and I wouldn't change her for the world, is the resale value. It's just not there. And so say I come in with a lab. I know it changes with the market, but like what percentage am I gonna get back?
So for a lab grown, you're not really gonna get back anything.
Anything at all?
Yeah, because realistically, if someone came in and was like, I love Caroline's ring exactly, I want it to look exactly like that, I can go to a manufacturer that makes lab grown rings and make it exact. As opposed to a natural diamond, you can't, there's no one in the same, they all look different. So with a lab grown, if you came in and you were like, I want to sell this to you, I would be like, well, I could just go buy a brand new one.
And you're like, I'll give you $80 on Venmo.
Yeah, like why, realistically, why would I buy one that's 2 years old when I could go make a brand new one that has no potential scratches or anything like that? So yeah, there really is no value in the sense for lab grown, but luckily you probably spent a little bit less on it. So it's a little bit less of like a, it's still money at the end of the day, for sure. If you decide like you don't want that as your engagement ring, turn it into a pendant. Or, make it into like, add it to a thicker linked bracelet, make it a bracelet, something like that. Get another matching one, make it a pair of studs. Like, there are ways to always mix and match your jewelry to make it so that it's worn.
Okay, a few of these questions were for me. Why did you choose lab grown? For us, it was purely a budget decision. I think knowing what I know now about like resale value, etc., like I really don't shame or shade anyone who does choose natural if they are able to do that, but for us in our budget, it was always gonna be lab grown. And also knowing what I know now, like if things change down the line, I could like put this into it, like a necklace. Like I'm always thinking about like the Tiffany bean.
Yeah,
like,
you can make it into a necklace,
so
you can pass it down, you can, you know, gift it to your daughter or niece or anything like that. Like
I'm so jealous of people who have family fucking stones.
I know.
It's like,
so is my fiance.
Literally, what is the most common ask when people sit with you? Like most common shape people want?
Totally depends. I would say lately I've been seeing a lot of cushions and a lot of emeralds. Things are going in and out. Marquis are popping up.
Yeah, very popular.
Ovals are very popular. I hate to use the word popular because like that's just not important.
Current.
Like even if something is the most popular there is, if that's something that you love, like it's okay. It doesn't matter. You have to just like be happy with what you have, and if you're really happy with something that happens to be popular, like
amazing.
It doesn't matter, you're smiling at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, but I would say cushions are hot right now, emeralds are hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the last one was, how did you approach the conversation of going ring shopping together? I initially, I don't even know if I told you this, wanted to go like with my girlfriends and like do that on our own, and then Jack ended up booking appointments, and I was like, oh, like if you're gonna do this, like I'm in.
I'm coming.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always fun to go with friends, and you know, you could do it all together. You can go with your partner and bring a friend or bring a sister or whoever. Obviously, the more cooks in the kitchen, the more
opinions, right? It's like
the more opinions, it could overwhelm you, and you really want to stick with like what you like. Because at the end of the day, what you like might not be what your best friend likes, and that's okay. Like you guys will have different opinions, but she's not wearing your ring and you're not wearing her ring.
Yeah.
So it's fun to have the experience together, but really try to focus on like what is most important for you.
That's all we have time for. I really do think we got kind of to everything, but if you have any questions, just leave them down below, or honestly just DM Natalie directly.
Yeah.
Are you public on Instagram these days?
I can be.
I think you should.
Yeah.
not to bully you, but it like, because people can so much easier find you and like ask you questions and like end up like coming into you, so she should go public.
Yeah, you can find me at Natalie Dorfman.
Yeah.
You can find our company at Howard Engle Inc. on Instagram. Or you can email us, Natalie at Howard Engle Inc. Or you can call me, text me, whatever you want. I'm here for you.
It's really easy to book with them. You literally just call into the office, pick a date and time. Like I mean, we have to get over our nervousness of like making calls as like
oh my god,
millennials.
Feel free, you can email me, Natalie at howardengleInc.com, or you can call us 212-682-2999.
Someone's calling right now.
I sound like a commercial, but you can call. I will likely be the one picking it up, and we can chit chat, make an appointment, and do all the fun things.
Yay, thank you so much. This was so fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
This was so fun.
We'll be back with the wedding band if I ever get married.
It's happening.
Bye, girls.